This one. That's cool. Okay.
That's fine.
Okay, we're live recording, and now I'm going to go live on Facebook. Yay.
Yep, check the Sean is checking the feed.
Oh, good. Okay. Inspiration, station, keynote, speaker, title, Chuck Fletcher. Yay!
Yay.
We have so many people waiting to get in. This is so exciting. All right, I'm going to go live and then let them in. Here we go.
Okay. It says now streaming.
Yay. Okay. You're there. I'm opening the doors.
All right, perfect. There's a little delay, but we're good. Uh-oh. Okay, there we go.
Hello, everyone. I have y'all on mute, locked mute, because we're going to have so many people this morning, but feel free to chat in the chat box if you would like, and we'll get started here in a minute.
Yes, I am.
Mary Brown.
Joined the meeting.
It is just so eerie how quiet it is with everybody on mute. But as you can see all your wonderful faces, it's awesome.
We can talk about whatever, Derek, and
Yes,
they have
we
to
can.
listen to us.
And everybody looks so brush-eyed and just ready to go this morning. I bet you everybody's already had their Starbucks this morning, haven't they?
Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed was the term.
I know. Apparently my 3 cups of coffee are not kicking in. Yep, that's true, Bert. We have the technology now. We'll pass on the notes to Sandy later. And just so everybody knows, usually when we get started, we usually give it a couple minutes just because we'll have a lot of people trying to come in right at 9. So we got to give them a little bit of time to get in. So we'll probably start a couple minutes just after 9. So feel free to keep talking amongst yourselves on the chat. I'm going to try to score around and see everybody's wonderful faces this morning.
And I guess we could go over the view. So in your top right-hand corner, and most of you probably know this because we've all been on Zoom so much, but for anyone who doesn't, in your top right-hand corner, there's a button called Speaker View or Gallery View. If you click on it, it will bring up whoever's talking. So if you want to just look at Chuck as he starts his keynote address, you can have space take up the entire screen, or you can make it so you can look at all the people.
Mm-hmm. Morning, Marlene. Good to see you too, my friend. Hope things are well.
Oh, Gail Thompson, where are you? You're wearing the brand new Lucy shirt? Where are you? Oh my gosh, there's so many faces. Gail, wave, Gail. No, I can't see you. Oh, there you are. I'm sorry. Okay, you're waving, Gail. If everyone can see, she has a sunset in her background. He's wearing the brand new Lucy shirt from the foundation. It looks very nice, Gail.
Awesome.
Like the Brady Bunch on steroids.
That's right. All right. Josephine, do we have anybody else trying to jump on, or you think we're ready to go?
Not at the moment. Yeah,
okay.
We're ready to go. Mm-hmm.
All right, perfect. Well, let's go ahead and get started, everybody. Good morning. I'm glad to see all of you again, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed this morning. I hope you've got your coffee ready to go. Hope you're ready to start your day with some really awesome inspiration. We're going to start by showing a quick video, and hopefully we will be able to talk about why we really want to see a lot of people next year going to Salt Lake City for International Convention. So, Josephine, if you'd go ahead and play the video.
Yes, okay. Here we go.
Yes, Kwanzaa International Convention is going to be in Salt Lake City, June 24th through the 27th of 2021. I know we were really excited to go to Indy back in June prior to International Council being canceled, and being there to support Burt West and his vie for Vice President, Kwanzaa International. But I really hope that since it's so close in our backyard that we'll be able to, assuming that COVID is over and we can get back together as meeting as a Kiwanis universe, that we can end up getting together, going to Salt Lake, and then we can show everybody, since Salt Lake's in our backyard, what Rocky Mountain District is all about. So please start making plans to attend Salt Lake City next June. So, but again, here this morning, we've got our keynote speaker, newly elected Kiwanis International Trustee Designate for 2020-2021, Chuck Fletcher from the Kentucky-Tennessee District. He's only a 14-year Kiwanis, if you can believe that or not. He has been a president of his club. He has been a governor for his district. And now, again, he is newly elected as a trustee for Kwanzaa International. And I had the pleasure of meeting Chuck a couple months ago. And, you know, we were all just looking at trustees and doing our research on who to vote for and what these representatives were trying to do. And I just really had a good time visiting with Chuck, and we've had a good bond, and we've struck and had lots of good conversations since then. And he was awesome enough to step up and say, you know, I would love to do an opening speech for you guys for your keynote for your convention and for your inspiration station. So Chuck, I'm glad you're here, buddy. We're really looking forward to what you have to tell us, and we will pass the floor over to you, man.
Boy, I thought she was going to keep me muted the whole time, so I didn't know whether I was going to be able to talk to you all. But anyway, she's in control. I want you to know she's in control. Let me say, Bert, it's good to see you on here. I look forward to working with our vice president. And Bert is just a fine person. Whether you all know that or not, he really is fine. So shake your head that you agree with me that he is a fine person, okay? Well, Bert, you do have a few people don't agree with that, but that's okay. I know you're a fine person, all right? Good to see y'all later. I'm going to share the screen just for a few minutes. Can you see that? Okay, good. All right. I don't want you to see that, but anyway. I want to show you a video too before we begin to go along with what I want to share, okay? Really good looking regular kid. But you're a hero. Whether you're a kid or a grown up. Way more than you might think you are. You're more than your problems and you're more than your mistakes. Somewhere inside, you're a hero. You might not have a place or wet underwear outside your clothes. That's probably a good thing. You have everything right now to change the world. Everything. Heroes are just ordinary people who done extraordinary things. They inspire other people to be extraordinary. People like the family. He's 12 years old and he's now against the fact that there are people in the world who don't have clean water. There is enough money to help 30 schools in Central Africa. Next, when she was 15, she created a beauty pageant for boys and girls that have special needs because she wanted to celebrate real beauty. My friend Bob, he's 55 and he's living out love and so many people. Right now, he's working on building a school so kids in Uganda know the love. Kids can change the world and grown-ups can change the world. It'll go a whole lot faster when we work together. Heroes are made with ordinary people like you and me decide to be extra or extra ordinary. Extra ordinary. What's to me extra? Here's what I would say. And you want to be awesome? Treat people awesome. That's great.
Ray Kepler.
Joined the meeting.
It's kind of, let me get this off here now. This is always my fun time when I try to figure out how to get something off. That's not what I want to do. Where's my, there you go. I'm trying to get to my slideshow. Here we go. We finally got there. Technology is really something. I'm telling you something. It's really something, but I want to share some things with you as we go through the process. Reason why I want to show you that video is because you guys are the leaders. You are the people that's going to be the heroes. And so as we look to this new year, we're going to look towards leaders. And every one of you all that are part of Kiwanis is a leader. And I just want you to understand what great leadership that you can be. I do want to go back. There we go. So I'm going to be, this is new to me when I share, so be patient with me. If you're impatient, that's okay. You can be impatient as well. So don't worry about it. We'll get through this together. Leaders are stepping up to carry the torch. You know, we're looking at a different generation of people today. And if we don't realize that our generation is changing, it is. But we still want to keep the history of what we're all about in our society that we live in. Just recently, we had a young man who joined our club, just outgoing. I could see a lot of leadership in him. And Sean was just an outburst of just life. 38 years old. I mean, he went out to get folks to join our club. He brought money into our club. He had raised money. He was a go-getter, well liked. And I could see Sean being a president of a club. I could see Sean at 38, as young as he is, looking at being lieutenant governor. I could see Sean being governor and one day probably be on the board, international board. But things happen. We lost Sean this week in an unexpected way. And when we lost Sean, it really took a toll on our family. So when we're talking about leaders and we're talking about family, we're talking about how we come together to show not just weaknesses, but show strength that each of us have where we can be able to carry on. So let's look at this. If I can get rid of, I want to look at John Wooden, his quote. Read that quote. John Wooden talked about 10 hands that were important. As you all, some of you know, John Wooden won 10 national championships in the span of 12 years, 7 titles in a row. And I thought, wouldn't that be super great that our Kiwanis clubs would have that same idea of a team leadership where we could win championships, bringing folks into our club, energizing what we have, looking at the different generations of folks that are part of our club and doing the things we need to do to really grow our clubs. See, I believe that we can. I believe that every person in this room can believe that we can grow our clubs. It just takes a little know-how too. So let's look at some things. It was consistent level of superior play. One thing that Kiwanis does is they do what we call CLE, Club Leadership Training. But I think sometimes we look at that, oh, it's another club leadership training. It's the same old stuff that we've done over before. There's nothing new. Well, I would tell you folks, if you have not looked at the book this year, it is awesome. It is unbelievable things that we could do to be the best that we could be. But sometimes as leaders, we fail to be the best that we could be. I think Jim Collins told us from being good to great, I believe that every club that's in the Mountain District can be one of the good, but also a great club. I believe that with all my heart. We got to have good coaching. We got to have good leadership. I don't understand when people says, oh yeah, I'll be secretary. Oh yeah, I'll be treasurer. Oh yeah, I will be president. And you don't do anything to be excited about just being a president of the club or being secretary of the club. And all the ideals that we could come up as a team to be a good coach to those that's going to follow behind us. Our problem is a lot of times that we could be a president of our club, but we fail to look at leaders behind us that could be strong leaders in the future of our club and begin to train those leaders. I just want you to know that I preach what I talk about. So when I talk about looking for leaders, I'm already looking for governors. I'm already looking for presidents. I'm already looking for folks to run eventually for Kiwanis International. And that's what you call good coaching. Some of you all have been good coaching, but you set aside and says, well, let the young people do it. I disagree with that. I think we all should work together to form the things we need to do to be a strong club. We had an 80-year-old guy in our club, and his name was Ed. Ed was a former superintendent, and he had retired. And Ed, as you know, in Kiwanis clubs, you always have a certain seat that you sit in, and nobody sits in that seat. You all are aware of that, right? Where nobody sits in that seat because that belongs to a certain person. So anyway, Ed will always sit back in his seat, and I asked our administrative committee person, I said, do you mind that Ed's turning 80-some years old? If we could just have a party for Ed? He said, well, he stuttered, we haven't done this before. He said, yeah, that'd be great. So what we did was we came together and we said, Ed, we're going to have a birthday party for you. At 80-some years old, the gentleman in our club began to cry. Because for a few moments, we gave him some recognition of his indebtedness to the club. Just being there. And he had food all over his shirt. But he was so thankful that somebody recognized him for what he as a member. Sometimes we forget to do that. So that's why I call it hard practice. We got to practice over and over and over again till we get folks involved and say, yeah, I want to be a part of that club. I remember a few years ago, as a club person, our club got down to 7 people. We were going to close the club up because we thought, hey, it's not worth it. We might as well just go ahead and close the club up and just let it go. We won't have a Frankfurt Kiwanis club. 3 of us got together. One of them it was a Salvation Army. Another gentleman was Fred Trapman and myself. We said, let's continue. Let's continue. So the first year, our main goal was to just have fun. Just laugh, cut up. We didn't put a lot of emphasis on growth, but just have fun. The next thing we did, the second year after that, we just began to look at involving together as a team. And the third year, we'll look at growth. And that was an opportunity for me to look at how we're going to grow. Well, over these last several years back, we went from a small club to a large club. Did it happen overnight? No. It took teamwork, folks. It takes us a village together, working together to do the things that we need to do. So things we need to do is appreciate them for who they are. Appreciate every member in the club. Whether you see them every day or every meeting, appreciate who they are. And that sometimes that appreciation could be, hey, Chuck, I haven't seen you at our meetings recently. And write a note. So you say, Chuck, just want you to know I was thinking about you today. My goal for me personally is make sure that I write 3 people a week and call 3 people every week to let them know I just care. So as a club, we got to care about our members. We got to care about those that we don't see. Because a lot of times people say, well, John Doe or Mary Sue hasn't been here for a long time. But I want to say, have you ever called them? Have you ever wrote them a note and said, I've been missing you? It really makes a difference. Believe that we do the very best that we can do. I think sometimes we're very weak at doing the best that we can do. If we only look at and remind our folks the greatest of what we could do, we could really grow our clubs. And I mean grow our clubs in all kinds of generations of people. It can happen. But we got to praise our accomplishments. I asked our president the other day, I said, hey, can you tell me what our goals are? And she said, yeah, I can tell you. Let me go look them up. Folks, our goals should be in front of us at all times. When you plan your goals this year, please don't put it on the back corner and say, I'll look at it at the end of the year and see where we are. The goals should be in front of us at all times, reminding us we want to get 5 new people in our club this year. And then once we get the 5 new people in our club this year, we'll celebrate. And we'll be so excited because we got 5, because guess what? We're going to go further than 5. So we want to praise our accomplishments that we have. Accept your personal responsibility to them as a leader. I cannot express. If I'm going to represent you, and I'm sure that Bert feels the same way, if we're going to represent you, we want to be the best leaders that we can be. Can that not be the same for our clubs? Can we not have the best leaders that we can have to lead our people, to be that example, to make the club meetings exciting? There are some club meetings I don't even want to go to because they're too boring. Why would you want to invite somebody to a club meeting that there's nothing exciting about it? But when you meet together every week or once a week or twice a month or whatever, be excited just to be together just for a few moments, encouraging each other. Barry Bryant said something that was very important. If anything goes bad, I did it. If the club doesn't go well, then Barry Bryant said, I did it because it didn't go well. But if anything goes semi-good, then we did it. But he says the last line, if anything goes real good, they did it. Isn't that true? We need to remember, folks, that when we come together, that when things go well, we need to say we did it. It's not a Chuck Fletcher thing. It's not the president. It's not Governor Derek's thing. It's all of us together, doing it together. So when you look at your goals this year for the district, and when you look at your goals this year for your clubs, celebrate that we all did it together. You can do it. You can't do it alone. I told folks many, many times, we can't do it alone. My last year of teaching, I finally wished I had done it the first part of teaching, but you learn as you go along. And I told the class that I said, okay, folks, I said, this year, we're all going to be a success story. I had 150 kids in my class. And I said, our story is going to go like this, that everybody is going to be average or above. There's no D's, there's no F's. We're all going to be average or above. And I had some kids say, I'm D. No, that's not acceptable. it's either C or above. When I got to the end of May, out of 150 kids, there was only 2 kids that didn't make it. And it's because they didn't come to school. I called their parents, I called them, encouraged them to be at school, but school wasn't important. So what I'm saying, along that way, we'll lose people. But if we can keep a large majority of the people together, showing that we care, showing that we're above average, that we can be A's and B's, then we're doing a great job. We got to develop leaders around us. Once we develop leaders around us, your clubs will continue to grow and grow and grow. You must establish a team. These 5 things that I put here. Get your vision seen. If you're going to have a vision, a mission, let it be known. Let people know what your mission is going to be. I expected 150 kids to be a success story. I expect that when I become governor, that I'll be a success story. I expect that hopefully that, and I say hopefully, but I expect that every district that I'm assigned to will be a success story. Why not? Why are we allowing the world to control us as Kiwanis when we can make a difference in the schools? I've been there, folks, and you've been there where kids are falling through the cracks because we as Kiwanis has a great opportunity to pick up the opportunity to say, we care about you and we want you to be a leader in this community and we want to teach you service. Why can't we go to those schools and say to the kids, we care about you? And then we got to implement it. If we believe it, we believe in kids, and Kiwanis is the most important thing, that kids needs Kiwanis and Kiwanis needs kids, then we got to implement it so that we can show kids that this world can be a better place. And I really believe with all my heart that Kiwanis can make a difference in the world, that we don't have to see the negative things, but we can see the positive things of loving, caring, and caring about the people and our neighbors around us. Share with others in the club, in the community. We don't share. We're so weak. We talk about a minute elevator speech, but do we ever share it? When people says, what is Kiwanis, do you go and run away and say, ask him, I asked her. Have we never said what Kiwanis mean to us? I remember I belonged to another club. And some of you knew I belonged to Rotary. Well, Rotary was very boring. It was boring to me. I had a big group that came, but they didn't do nothing. All they did was have speakers, and that was it. I wanted something to give back. So I decided, one of the city council person, when I was on city council, invited me to come to a Kiwanis club. I went. I enjoyed it. The people liked me. They cared about me. They talked about service. I really loved it. And that's what drew me in, because people cared about me. It wasn't the color of my skin or who I was. It was all about me being a person. So we got to share that story. We got to share it in our communities, that we're alive, that we're here. We're in our community to make a difference to the people in our community. Leaders must see the big picture. See, Kiwanis is big. I'm learning so much about Kiwanis. But you know what? We might have 5 people in our club, but a gentleman taught me something that's very important. He said, Chuck, I want you to remember one thing, and I will never forget this. And you think about the clubs that's not meeting virtually, but think about what he said to me that is very important. He says, Chuck, there might be 5 people in that club, or 8 people in that club. But he says, as long as they have that piece of paper that Kiwanis International allows them to be a club, then it's a live club. And you know what? That is so true. Every club out there is alive. And we just got to pick up the pieces and encourage them to see the big picture, that we're all in this together. Other leaders must help to make this mental picture a reality. Folks, I understand that we're going to have a tough time this coming year at the end of the year, but that's okay. We're not finished. We're just beginning. And when we begin, we're going to celebrate next year with one of the greatest opportunities. I believe with all my heart that at the end of the year of 2021, that we're going to come together. We're going to celebrate. And we're going to look at what we did. And we're going to put our hats on. We're going to say, fine, we worked hard, but we did it. And when we come together, we're going to bring our pom-poms. And we're going to shake our pom-poms. And we're going to let the world know that Kiwanis is for real. Kids need Kiwanis. Kiwanis need kids. Thank you so much for allowing me to be with you today. It's been very enjoyable. Thank you. Come on. Thank you.
All right. Chuck, we really appreciate your words. We really appreciate what you're trying to put out there with what's been going on. And we're in this together, and we've got to look at that way and know that there is light at the end of the tunnel. This is just a hiccup, and we've just got to keep doing the good work that we've always been doing. You know, it's not like we haven't faced these things before, and we've always persevered because we keep kids at the heart of everything we do. So again, appreciate the message, my friend.
Thank you.
You're awesome. We appreciate you being here and sharing that message with us today.
All right. Thank you. God bless you all.
All right. So everybody, I hope you got your inspiration for this morning. We're going to take a little short break here. And then at 10 o'clock, we'll be moving into the district council. And then we're going to also be able to put that live on Facebook. So anybody that's not a delegate, you should be able to pop on there. And then at 10:30, we will then make a motion to allow everybody in that can't be on Facebook to jump in on the Zoom meeting. So just prep yourselves with that. So go get up, stretch a little bit. It's going to be a long day, but get some more coffee, and then we will see you back here at 10. Thanks for jumping on. We'll see you here in a little bit.